Hi everyone, this is EN and we are back with the EN podcast and I'm with the team. We are with Tawanda, Joy and Privilege. How are you guys doing?
Very fine.
Excited.
How are you?
Super.
As usual, we are fine.
Yeah, as usual, you're fine?
Yeah.
So I'm a bit distressed, okay? I know I feel like I'm always distressed or something when I'm doing the podcast, but this is not my therapy, all right? Let's just say. But I heard a story recently about a young kid, grade 7, who was disciplined by the teacher, corporate punishment. And yeah, this teacher really gave it to this kid, to the extent that the parents then went and made a police case out of it. Now, the question that I have is balance in schools. What is good? Corporate punishment, no corporate punishment, a bit of corporate punishment? What's happening out there? And how are you guys viewing it? Because I looked at this case and I was appalled. Initially, my instinct was, and I want to make some noise about it because it's wrong. Why beat mwana kusvika paextent yekuti mbereki wacho anotoshti mwana uyu rekandiendesa kuhospital and we are filing a police report? What are your thoughts?
Wow, that is very disturbing. A bit of corporal punishment, maybe, yes. But I personally, maybe it's the way that I was brought up. I was brought up in such a way that hitting a person is not exactly correcting the mistake they have done. You need to sit down, talk with them, and probably make them see things without any physical interaction. So for me, corporal punishment, I don't uphold that.
But Privy, you grew up in a very structured environment, Gayo. Your dad was a military man. So let's put it out there, girl. Military has different structures in families.
Yes.
Because when you're growing up in a military environment, it's regime, and is it?
Yes.
I grew up as a pastor's child. Totally different.
I grew up in army kind of setup, pastor kind of, because my parents were elders in church as well.
Yes.
So you've got the Bible, you've got the army as well.
Yep.
With you. My dad believed in punishment.
Yes.
You do a certain thing, he uses your weaknesses on the things that you love, you are deprived of that.
Yes.
Inini ndakakura ndichirohwa. So when you are saying corporal chii?
Punishment. Kurohwa
neshamu kuti unyatsonzwisisa.
Alright, I really want to understand the depth of the wounds or whatever it is that happened to the kid or the bruises, because I think that will convince me. Because inini pandakakura inini waitovhurirwa bhaibheri wogara apapo wotemwa shamu dzogara apapo wobva watovhura vhesi wobva tonzi bhaibheri rakati zvikuru tuka ranga zvikuru uchidzidzisa. Saka mwanangu wakanganisa ndakutombokuranga.
Okay. Tawanda, in those cases, I would want to ask kuti, was there at any point that wakazosvika pakuti wakufanira kuendeswa kuhospital warangwa kuda?
Not really.
Saka not an answer.
Wakasvika here?
No.
Hapana nditi. Saka just to go back to this conversation that is saying kuti vabereki vemwana uyu vakasvika papoint yekuti they had to take the child kumuendesa kuhospital. Vamuendesa kuhospital pakasvika time yekuti they also had to engage the police. So at that level, handifungi kuti pachine discipline apa patone abuse.
Yes.
Because kana tasvika ipapapo, I think there should be panofanira kunge pane difference, because ukaona pazosvika, because I think patone mutemo wekuti hazvichabvumidzwi, because vamwe vacho havachaiti iri corporate punishment.
Yes.
Abuse. And I think there are other ways that people can take on vamwe detention, yamwe punishment yekunzi. And I remember kuzvikoro, especially kuzvikoro, kumba shamu yaishanda.
Asi kuchikoro taidhingiswa mahalls.
Yes. So
when I went to a mission school.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. One by one. Uchidhingiswa. Better udhingise mwana wangu than kumurowa.
I remember like when we were in Form 4, there was a guy, one of our students, our classmates, was not supposed to be in class, and the headmaster had like told us specifically, if this guy comes into class, notify me that he's here. We decided to do the class thing, support each other. We kept him in class, and then when we spent like the whole week slashing the rugby field, like the whole week, slashing the rugby field, the whole class. It worked for us. Like it was cool. Corporal punishment was not part of like.
Yeah, so I think kuti, to go to the question that you spoke about, kuti nyaya yekurowa iyi ikasvika paextent yekuti mwana anokwara, ikasvika paextent yekuti mwana apakutoda mapurisa muzvikoro, I really think that then this is abuse, and I think that there should be levels. Especially we do agree that sometimes vana they need discipline, or they are doing things that calls for discipline. So I think that at times it's better to engage, be it the school authorities, take it higher, and then if pasina, I know kuti sometimes you don't want to quickly engage the parent, but ukaona kuti mwana haasi kuramba achiteerera, then you take it up to say, let's call the parent. Because it's important to engage the parent and bring the parent up akuti mwana wenyu aita A, B, C and D. And ndo panozosvika pamwe mwana is expelled, mwana is anombonzi aitwa suspended, ambopuwa suspension pachikoro. All those things are ways to give discipline. Sometimes it's not always about the physical.
And all those things are in an environment and in a world where things are fair. But guess what, guys? I'm gonna flip the switch on you guys. Mwana akarowa teacher. Yes, because
you expel the child.
Aiwaka. Mwana anenge ari kudisciplinwa naticha nditi. Pakudisciplinwa naticha ipapo mwana abva adzorera ticha. Wako mwana, iwewe wako iwewe. Wakabara iwewe ka. Abva wamunzwa kuti arowa ticha.
Nandi wako.
Nandi wako adhaya ticha zvokuti.
I think for that case, and we actually need to understand mwana wacho.
The whole scenario.
Like pani pakutodiwa therapy yokutinzwisise kuti what was the cause for the child to react like that. Is it because kune something that's happening kumba, or is it because anema grievances are now as a child? Because if we're talking about a teenager, or if we're talking about someone are before 13 or are before 18, pane ma certain behavior anenge achi-influencer with certain situations. So I think it's best kuti teacher varohwa nemwana, but what really triggered, because it's unnatural.
Guka.
Yes.
Drugs.
Now we know there's drugs involved. How best
Guka.
can we help the kid?
Saka I'm in a teacher position.
Okay.
Ndini teacher wacho. Ndoita same. Vana vangu ka, I need to discipline. Avateereri. Pane ma-drugs. Vakutomisidzana neni muclass. Half of them are even taller, bigger than me. How do I keep discipline in a class? I think that, I don't know if we can answer that because we're not teachers. But I'm just saying, that's the reality that's on the ground. Kids are taking so many different things. Kids are coming from so many different backgrounds where they're being told, even wabereki wacho, the teacher here usamjaidze. Isusu tinonzi ana nhingi pano. Usatombojaidza teacher wako. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We are also toxic issues as parents.
Yes.
So I think the environment here, your corporate discipline is just becoming so tainted because there are different layers. In the home, there's a lot of instability. With our children, they're being faced with so many challenges. It could be peer pressure, bullying, whatever it is that's happening. But so many times teacher. And also, teaching what it was before and what it is now. Really, for the good teachers that are my hats off to them. Hats off to them.
Yes.
I don't think I could teach.
In this generation.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
yeah, it's so true. I remember even my teenage daughter was saying that. She was saying, I think the most difficult thing is kudzidzisa ma high school students, because she being in class, she sees how her peers and other people can provoke and can behave. But one of the biggest things that we as parents need to do is also to instill some values, and those values, they are easier because they can be carried forward into the school. We should not just leave it up to the teacher to say because sometimes as parents, we are now leaving it up to the teachers. We don't even know what's happening in the life of a child.
Yes.
And then when the teacher and then you take it personal. Saka, I think parents also need to come to the table and also engage with teachers so that it makes it be easier to discipline these children.
And ipapo ndo patori nenyaya, because vabereki vakawanda, number one, hatisi kuenda ma-consultation days. Number two, we are not present kuma sports days. Number three, kana kuperekedza mwana kuchikoro, it's a duty. You know what I mean? Takutuma ana sisi kuti vazviite kana kuti mwana anozofamba ega kuenda kuchikoro. Saka as parents, I know we've got pressures, but we need to also be kumabasa kwedu toda kujingirisa kuti mari dzikwane. But we are actually creating a generation of children who will become very disruptive. But you know, and unruly, exactly. Thank you so much. But once again, we've come to the end of our time. And if you've got any comments, please like, share, and tell us what you think about this. Because honestly, we have to just something has to change.
Exactly.
Something has to change. But Tawanda, this is the eNShow, and what do we do?
We just send love and light your way.
Amen. See you soon.
I tell you